Hi everybody, so guess what? I've been doing something new on a new platform, and I just put out a video on wispy fades in alcohol inks. I teach in this class 3 methods for creating fades, and they're very simple techniques, like beginner techniques. One is air, one is heat, and one is just patience, so even if you don't have like an airbrush or something, you can still accomplish the look. Using just 2 colors, brass and metallic, again this is beginner, you can make a beautiful work of art. So the cool thing about this platform is for $7.99 you get access to all the classes on the whole platform, not just my classes, but everyone's. So to stay informed of new fluid art videos happening on that platform, there's a link to Creative Fabrica in the description box, and I look forward to seeing you there. So, look at this beauty. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you will see that I post a lot of the things that don't get posted on YouTube. So that's a great place to follow me if you want to see what's up and get some behind the scenes footage. And I just share a lot of my art there. And when I shared this piece, I got so many comments asking please to share the process of doing some of these embellishments. Now this one I already had done, so I couldn't go back. A lot of times I just put on some music or something and I just sit and do the embellishments as a way of peaceful meditation. I thought I could embellish this one that I did for Creative Fabrica. I used the Black Star India ink by P.H. Martin, but honestly, I like this one because it's waterproof for one thing. But any India ink would work. And I just put a little bit in my palette, and then I use a fine line brush. This brush is a 10-0, and I can put a link in the description box to a similar brush. This one was purchased so long ago, I don't think they even make this brush anymore, but you can certainly find one that's close to it now. The real question when you're doing some piece like this and you start the embellishment is, where do I begin? And one of the beautiful parts of the alcohol inks in the way that I'm doing them is they create their own natural lines. You can see what I do. I'm just following the natural lines that are already created in the ink, for the most part. Obviously, you know, part of art is we use our imagination, and at first, I'm going to tell you, every single time I start one of these projects where I do the embellishments, I have this moment of panic, and you have to kind of get over that moment where you're just taking something beautiful and you're drawing some big black lines on it, and we just don't know how it's going to turn out. And every single piece of art kind of goes through an ugly stage, I think, and it grows into something bigger. So don't be afraid to just start. That's the hardest part, is just to start doing it. I switched to the ARTEZA acrylic markers. I do like these markers a lot, and they have a much broader tip on them than that fine tipped brush. They make a great alternative to a brush. Maybe you're not comfortable with the brush, and not all of us are. I'm still learning to be comfortable with brush, so I thought, well, I'm gonna break out this marker, and I do like the way it flows over the alcohol inks. Very smooth, and I didn't have any problems with this forming thick, black, shiny, sort of glossy lines. And then I decided to use the ARTEZA white acrylic marker to add some other embellishments. Now at first it goes on white, and then it seems to absorb the ink underneath it and pull out some of the secondary colors, so it shifts. The color shifts a bit. When something like this happens, you can just choose to play around with it and play it up. So for me, the color that's kind of coming through is an orangey peachish color, and so I decided to play around with that later on. Now, you can see a lot of those little embellishments disappeared with the white. And this is just going through its ugly stage, but I can see where it's going in my mind. I can see. So I start adding some more little wispy lines. I love the way it looks. And I really want to get more facile with a brush, because there's something just absolutely wonderful about the way a brush works. You can create thick and thin lines just by using pressure. And as you push your brush down, you get more of that fat, thick line. And then you lift your brush up and you get the thin edge. And now I have kind of a pretty little composition right there for that one piece. I still don't know at this point how the whole thing is going to come together. But that's why I'm saying sometimes you have to just start and get over the fear of, you know, messing up or ruining something, because at the end of the day, this is what's teaching me is practice. So I'm just practicing making a lot of little leaves here, kind of like leaf impressions, branches with leaves. And there we go. So I can pretty much envision, what do I need to do now? So I have like a third of that filled with that beautiful line work. So now I'm thinking in terms of thirds. I need 2 more thirds. And so I start on the other side, and that's just how it goes. Just again, following the lines. It really doesn't have to be any more difficult than that. And these lines are created when you're doing pour paintings as well, because fluid art lends itself to this technique, I think, really well. The one thing I decided is I need some variations in shapes. So I found those guys right there. I was like, oh, I need 2 little buds coming up. And some spiky things. And I just keep going. Those remind me of butterfly wings, and so I ended up pulling out that fine line brush and kind of making some little webbing in there. I'm not sure if that was my favorite idea, but I think it turned out okay. If you guys are enjoying my art videos, I still appreciate your support, and I would love to see you share my videos or shop my Amazon shop. And there's also a PayPal donation link in my description box if you like what you see and you want to just drop a little donation. I still do appreciate those very much. And of course, all the art that you see here is for sale. You can visit my website, heathermaderart.com, or you can always send me an email and see if a piece is still available. Also, if you want to, just a reminder, if you want to know how this beautiful piece was created, the actual background for this, go to Creative Fabrica using the link in my description box. And that tells Creative Fabrica that you are there because of me. So those little circles, they're fun because they turn a different color depending on the ink that's behind them, but ultimately they do dry relatively the same. Like, I'm gonna show you what that looks like after they dry completely for 24 hours, but you can see some of them are green and some of them are turning kind of that peach color. And these are kind of the final wispy parts as I pull everything together here. And this is what it looks like dried, you guys. 24 hours later in regular light, just some daylight, you can see there's definitely some greens coming out there. And the purples. And see those little circles turned green with a blue tinge to them. Little peaks here and there of that peach color as they hit the black, I think. That's that pitch black alcohol ink doing that. So thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, I can't wait to make more art videos just for you. Bye guys. Don't forget to subscribe and hit all notifications so I can make more art videos just for you.